On this video, I'm going to show you 6 reference points to make your parking super easy. Let's get into it. Now, when you're doing the forward bay park, I know people struggle with this sometimes. Now, what you want to do is use this line, the first line, as your reference point. You line your side mirror up with this line, and then you do a full lock to that side. And then when you turn in, it should work. Remember to start wide. That way it makes it easier for the car to go into the bay. Now, some people sit in different positions depending on how tall or short they are. So if this doesn't work for you, line your door mirror up with the middle of the bay that you're trying to park into. When you've done that, do a full lock to that side and it should go into the bay nicely. Now, the reverse bay park can be a bit tricky. What I do with a lot of my learners is just to get them to try to reverse first time without using any reference points. But if you need a reference point, don't be shy to use this, because I see a lot of people sometimes in comments on videos that use reference points saying, oh, why are you using a reference point? You don't need a reference point. Bay parking is not easy for everyone. Some people find it really easy, other people find it a bit tricky. And if a reference point is going to help you, don't feel bad for using it. So the reference point for reversing into a bay is you choose 3 lines from the bay that you want to park in, and then use the third line as the reference point. You put that third line in the middle of your door as you're looking out the window, and then do a full lock from that point, and your car should reverse into the bay, which is 3 lines away from that line. Nice and easy if you do it properly. If it doesn't work, you might need to adjust it slightly depending on how you sit. For most people, it's roughly in the middle of the door, but you might be a bit closer to the front of the door for you depending on how tall you are. It's a matter of just figuring it out, but most people, it's in the middle of the door. It's going to work just fine. Now, once you get into the bay, sometimes people struggle with knowing where to actually stop the car without hitting the back. You can use this reference point, which is bringing your door mirror to sit on top of that line. That way, you know you're not too far back and you're also not too far forward, meaning that your car is not sticking out of the bay. So for the parallel park, some people struggle with this, but I feel like it's one of the easier ones because you have lots of room to play with. A lot of people don't realize you've got up to 2 car lengths to play with on your test, so it makes it really easy to reverse in, and you can even make a little mistake here and there, but you still have room to correct it and get into the space. If you need reference points, this is what you can use. So with this technique, you're going to use a lot of room for this bay park, which makes it easier and safer so you don't get too close to the car in front. You reverse back until your door mirror is roughly in the middle of the car that you're trying to park next to, and then turn towards the left, so 360 of the steering wheel towards the left. This should now, and then when you start moving, it should start bringing your car towards the left and the front is going to swing out. Now the second reference point for this maneuver is deciding when to start turning right again. So if you imagine the road is a clock and 12 o'clock is right in front of you and then 3 o'clock is to your right, when you're facing between 1 and 2, you're going to stop the car. And then you turn towards the right, so your wheels are straight now. And then you're going to reverse back towards the curb. When you get near the curb, this is your third reference point for this maneuver. You're going to look in your little mirrors on your wing mirror. And when you see the curb and the wheels nearly touching, you're close enough, then you can do one more turn towards the right. Your car's still going to go towards the curb, but it's now going to start straightening up. And then the final turn is just to straighten up the wheels, and then you'll finish off by securing the car. Now the right reverse can be easy or it can be tricky depending on how you do it. Now some people struggle pulling into the right safely. You can do this by using a reference point. So once you've checked that it's safe and you've signaled to go towards the right, you can use the curb as a reference point so that you don't hit the curb or so that you don't stop too far away from the curb. Once you've steered in and then the curb hits this point of your windscreen, you're close enough now, you should start straightening up. So once it hits that part of the windscreen, start turning towards the left and keep the curb in the same place. You can make small adjustments to the left and right, but if you keep the curb in that same spot there, it will mean that your car is not too close to the pavement and not too far into the road. And then once you stop and then you go the car straight, it's going to be nice and easy to do the rest of the maneuver. Those are just a few reference points that can help you to do your parking. I hope they were helpful. If you want any more tips on how to make your driving easier, make sure you subscribe to the channel and I'll be making more videos like this. Thank you for watching and I'll see you on the next video. Bye.